Welcome to another episode of Shredder Show. Today, a huge pleasure to have Abdullah on the podcast. So today we're discussing all things bodybuilding, bodybuilding in the Middle East, nutrition, cultural differences, your epic gym you have, and also your own personal background. Firstly, I'm shocked that you just said you're 26.
You just said don't say that.
Yeah, so I have to bring that up straight away. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
First thing I wanted to bring up with you is in regards to something we actually spoke about just before this, was in terms of the training differences between people maybe in the Middle East versus say you mentioned like UK and Britain, because I had this conversation this morning saying that looking around the gym, no one really trains that hard here. That's comparatively, whereas like when I was at home, people be like killing themselves and be like blood everywhere almost.
That's true. Yeah.
Is that something you've seen a lot?
Yeah. Just going back to the time I started training the way you guys train in the UK, when it was Corona time, COVID, I barely had any equipment in my house. So I was like, if I don't have that much equipment, I have to just control any other variable, and it's just the load on the bar. So then I started doing that high intensity thing, and then Durian came and passed by my that time of my career, and then slowly I knew JP, and then slowly I was like, wait, are they all training the same way, or what's going on? Like each and every UK guy trains this way. I cannot find a high volume guy from UK, and I love the way they train. It just gives me that dopamine, you know. So then slowly I started implementing in my workout, and I grew a lot from it. I'm not saying that this is the only way to grow, but it just suited me really well.
And what triggered you to move to that type of training?
Yeah, probably Durian. The way Durian trains, the high intensity, being in your own zone. I just love that kind of training, you know. It's like everyone says like training is like a glove, you know. If it suits you, it suits you. Like if we look back to Kevin Leveroni, the way they trained, okay, it was fairly heavy, but in a sense of like high reps, which to me going anywhere around 8 to 10 reps, I just feel bored. Yeah, I need to feel my head bursting to feel that I did a set, you know.
Do you also like the element of a bit of a danger, like this could go really wrong?
Yes. And like I'm a Muslim, so we have this prayers we say. So before I go to this set, maybe when I even take my videos, you can't tell if I'm saying it, but looking down, I say these prayers 1, 2, 3 times. I'm like, okay, let's go, because I know there's something gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. There's no risk, no reward, and particularly if you're doing that type of training, you have to push the envelope. And even like,
definitely. Do
you log your lifts in terms of what you're doing?
Never.
Okay.
Yeah,
you just memorize it.
No, I used to do this, but then being more in bodybuilding just tells you to be
instinctive.
Don't be that restrictive. Yeah, just keep everything as a guideline. For me, it's like, okay, I trained hard, that's it. Regardless, like sometimes you wake up in the morning, you're stressed out, but compared to like doing very hard work in a stress day compared to doing very hard work in non-stress days, it's kind of different. As long as I reach that threshold of like, okay, I did well today, taking into consideration all the other factors, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Why do you think the Middle Eastern training style, respectfully, is more high volume, like pump work type of training? What brought that sort of phenomenon in?
I really don't know what brought that. Probably one of the idols who trained that way is the one who brought it. But for me, it's like even when I work out with them, they always repeat the same sentence. Hey man, I'm not sweating. Like it's like sweat is always related to training, like back to back, doing so a lot of drop sets and supersets and stuff. It becomes kind of CrossFit type of training, which I don't like. But I think that's why. But to me, like I'm coming from the new generation, 26 years old. I can tell that the guys under me, the young generation, are kind of following the track that I'm doing of like high. We're bringing bodybuilding back again, hopefully.
I would have thought the fact that it's like 45 degrees and they're still doing progressive overload, they're probably pretty hot.
Yeah.
They're sweating still. So that's
maybe, yeah.
And that's something I noticed coming here. It took a long time for me to balance out in terms of like electrolytes and salts to get used to the heat.
Yeah.
And we were talking obviously before about the difference of obviously like places like Las Vegas, and you mentioned originally your background, you got into bodybuilding from when you were in Arizona?
Yeah. I've been in Arizona since 2015. I stayed there for around 5 years. Like I went there for one job, which is getting my degree in electrical engineering. I had zero interest in that. I came back with a degree, but I'm a C student. But it was mainly bodybuilding, like knowing more about bodybuilding in terms of the academic side, and then same time applying on myself. And I started men's physique, which is something I really don't like mentioning, but I started, and then slowly I merged into classic. Now it's just pure bodybuilding, like the way it is.
Did you train men's legs when you do men's physique?
That's the issue. No, I didn't train men's. I didn't train legs at all, and I can regret this right now, because when I see my physique coming into close to on a show, I'm like, oh shit! If I trained legs before, it would have been a more symmetrical physique. But it's getting there. It's getting there.
It takes time.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of your training that you do now. You do a full body split, right?
I do a full body split. Yeah.
And you want to talk about a little bit how that looks?
It's just that, people are talking a lot about these stuff, splits, like push-pull legs, full body, whatever. To me, it's just do whatever makes you feel better. Like in the end, what are we trying to find in bodybuilding? It's adherence. I'm trying to do something that will keep me doing it for the next 30 years. So if I enjoy full body, I'm just going to do full body. And going back to Durian, he used to do full body back in the days as he first started, and then he slowly progressed into upper lower, and then slowly into the pro split. But to me, I'll just do whatever I feel doing, because entering the gym is that fun time for me. I don't want to be let me find what's the most optimal thing. Like, I used to do this. It's not sustainable to me and to general population. I can say to even pro level athletes, like, let's do something fun. I'm here to enjoy it. I've been stressed all day from work and business. Let me enjoy it and just lift heavy.
So do you not have set exercises you do in your workouts, or you just turn up and go, what am I going to do today?
I used to have an Excel sheet. I still do have an Excel sheet. I didn't open it since a year now. Yeah, just go to the gym, plan it while driving there. Okay, I'm going to do a pendulum today. I'm going to do a stiff leg deadlift, and then, I don't know, leg extensions, any push movement that I feel like doing, and then pull movement. That's it. I barely do any isolation workouts like biceps, triceps, shoulders. They're fine with me. They're already very well developed. But in general, there is no that fun factor in doing, biceps and triceps.
Arms training sucks. Why arms are so small is because I just don't like training them.
Yeah, there's no fun out of it. So it's that fun thing. I want to do. I have this emotional attachment to training. Like, I want to do something I like. That's life. In life, I want to do anything that I enjoy. Like, I don't want to do something I have to do because it's more optimal now.
Do you think a lot of people are doing bodybuilding even though they don't enjoy it?
That's the main reason why people stop. Yeah, because they're forcing themselves. It's like they want to reach that end goal, and then what? Okay, I reached. I became ripped. I got bigger, stronger, and then what? Nothing will keep you going unless you like it. So, if you like it, then you like it.
And I think you would agree with this, that the end goal just keeps on moving. You get, like, when you probably, this is what I find, you get 90% towards a goal.
Yeah.
By the time you're nearly there, you've set your eyes on something else.
That's true. That's true.
That ultimately can lead you to being very unfulfilled, which is why, as we said at the start of this, is like, I'm going to compete probably one more time next year and then I'm done. But like, I just enjoy the process of training and dieting like the day to day of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely I agree with you. The more, as I said, the more I come into bodybuilding, the more I become mature in it. So by the time I feel like, okay, competing isn't my main purpose, as much as you said, just enjoying the process. And then by time growing up, you see more priorities in life. Even if you see top tier bodybuilders, like suddenly they're there, they have potential and everything. Suddenly he's into something else. And I'm like, why did he do that? And then you find out, oh, it's business, oh, it's family. Like Flex Lewis suddenly was like, I'm prepping for open bodybuilding Olympia, and suddenly he got his first baby. He instantly changed his mind. Like, I'm done.
Same thing happened to Ben Pekulski. I think he did one show after the child, and he's like,
I'm done. Yeah. Those guys had a lot of potential. Like me, I'm nowhere near their potential, but it's just using their mind and just prioritizing different things in life.
And I think that's where a lot of people sometimes, they need to not BS themselves, that like this, you're not going to go and win the Olympia. Like, you have to be realistic to sort of like your genetics and instruction.
Being realistic, thank you. Yeah, that's the thing that's taking people into like a lot of off tracks. Like, even if you tell them, hey man, why you demotivate me? I'm not demotivating you. I'm just being realistic. Yeah, like, hey man, I want to jump on gear and look like those guys. I'm like, but why? Because your genetics aren't there. Oh, why do you mean? What do you mean my genetics aren't there? I'm like, that's the truth, Yeah, it won't take you anywhere. Like, if you see the top tier old school golden era athletes in their 19 year of age, like Arnold at 19 was crazy. Sergio Levy at 19 was crazy without even doping, So that tells you, okay, those guys will go somewhere with taking into consideration the real bodybuilding process of being big. Yeah, but in general, if you look decent, then just enjoy it.
One of the things you mentioned there is obviously doping in terms of PEDs in bodybuilding. That's the other thing I'd say I'd seen since coming here, is there seems to be a lot of pushing in terms of the numbers with that more here.
Crazy, yeah.
Do you think that's for any reason, or it's just people associate with almost the same as training, right? They assume doing more sets and more reps is going to make them bigger, that taking more drugs is the key to getting them bigger.
Yeah, the more the better. That's what they're saying. But I feel like in bodybuilding, we come in different eras. So back in the 90s, it was more of that oral era and getting that appetite suppression from stuff like Anadrol and stuff, Winstrol. You can tell from when Lee Priest talks and Arnold talks like Winnie. They used to use a lot of orals. And then going to the 2000, the Dennis James era, Ronnie Coleman, these guys were abusing. And then people were like, okay, I need to get this big. And in order to get this big, I'm going to abuse. And the numbers were like crazy high. You're talking about 3, 4, 5 grams. And at that time, Oxygen Gym Kuwait was one of the gyms that popped out really hard. And then they were the symbol of the Middle Eastern gym, you know. So everyone was looking at them. Whatever Oxygen do, we're going to do. And they were kind of one of the people who used anabolics really hard. And they got really good results. But, I mean, they didn't look at the risk-reward ratio. But then it was that era. And now I feel like we're entering a new era of the John Jewett, Luke, Callum, Victor, Broderick, the era of like the safer use of anabolics and the longevity use. And we're still getting amazing results. So I feel like this is the best era we're right now.
I think it's because people have become a lot more aware about it rather than... It's like law of diminishing returns with a lot of things, right? It's if 2 sets work, doesn't mean that 10 sets are going to be better.
Definitely.
Because like there comes a drop-off point. And I think that's
Definitely.
where... Same thing with food, right? So I'm trying to get bigger
Same
at the
thing with
moment.
everything in life,
like
yeah.
I'm hitting a point now where it's like eating more is not food, it's not going to help because I can eat the food. So it's like you can't push your body too hard because it'll start to push back.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Have you found that with your own career, obviously you put on like a lot of size fairly quickly for your age, have you found anything where you've struggled in terms of progressing your physique?
The way my body responded, I've been training bodybuilding for 4 years now. So the way my body progressed the moment I started applying the kind of some basic of knowledge, calories, macros, and then basic of knowledge of training, just reaching beside failure, and then the basic of anabolics and stuff, I felt like my body like exploded. Taking into account I started full body, that time like my body exploded. And then I kept getting bigger. My blood test and health markers are all on point. It's just that one time I felt like everything is just keeps changing. But then, as you said, I'm never fulfilled, and I always see that I still lack in my legs. I still lack in like a bit of chest. But people who know me saw me in that journey. Like, hey man, you grew a lot in that 2-3 years.
How much weight did you put on?
I started bodybuilding at 58. Now I'm 112.
Mate, that's nearly doubled.
Yeah.
Did you do any sports before that?
Yeah, I was a soccer player in the national team. Yeah.
In the national team?
I believe any bodybuilder has a sport background.
Yeah.
Mostly. Most like bodybuilders have a sport background. And then, I'm 112 right now, like peak off season. I started prepping yesterday, and then we see how it goes.
When have you got a show planned?
We see if it's a show, it's a show. If it's something else, but probably I'm just downsizing to a very good body fat percentage. Even... maybe I'll compete, maybe not, but probably it's a heavyweight bodybuilding class.
With your own, obviously you coach a lot of clients now as well. Where do you feel you've gathered the most of your knowledge and experience from? Is that with working with other coaches, people like Callum, or?
It's both. It's working with other coaches like Callum and coaching people who are into bodybuilding, like enhanced athletes. Coaching naturals isn't fun, to be honest. It's like it's 1 + 1 = 2. Like, just keep him on deficit. He's never gonna adapt. He's never gonna get into that survival mode. No, like issues with thyroidism and stuff like this. Unlike enhanced athletes, like that's a superhuman you're dealing with. You have a new aspect, just dealing with something with pharmacology. You know, there is where I gained a lot of experience, and a lot of it was not based on scientific evidence and stuff. Like, science says something, enhanced athlete just says completely different thing, you know. So then I started, okay, now I'm getting experience and knowledge all together. Now I feel like I'm building myself again. Now I feel like, why does Hani Rambod sometimes says stuff that is not approved by science?
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay, now I understand why. Because he's been dealing with a lot of people, and they're uniquely built different, and they're enhanced. Okay, now it makes it. Yeah.
And it's that, I think there's that anecdotal evidence of when you've seen X, Y, Z person's happened, and you get the same scenario again, you're like, I should do this.
And even going back to science-based studies, those are also troubleshooting. It was trial and error. Like they got people, they tested something on it. It's the same thing we are doing, you know. We are even case studying people and doing this. Oh, it showed on 3-4 people. Let me do on the 5th one. It keeps happening, you know.
Interesting question for you. Obviously, you mentioned your background in terms of electrical engineering and what you currently do.
Yeah.
Do you find the engineering knowledge you have helps you in terms of like training application?
I have zero knowledge in electrical engineering. I know nothing about electrical engineering. I really don't know anything. Like my work is 1 + 1 = 2. It's nothing to do with engineering. But yeah, I just went there because they said, hey, if you become an engineer, you get paid well in Dubai. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Do you not find the engineering background helps with training, or
Nah.
no, nothing at all?
I feel like bodybuilding helped me everything in life. Like, yeah, everything I do in bodybuilding, discipline, time management, pushing to failure, patience, that's helping me in everything in my life.
This is one of the interesting things. I know you have multiple. How many businesses do you have?
Currently, I have Grab and Go, which is an electronics store, and then the shipment company around. It's a shipping company for my restaurant and then for other restaurants too. My restaurant is If It Fits Your Macros. It's not the ideal restaurant for bodybuilders. It's more for basic people who just want to count their calories. And then I have the Dungeon Power Building Gym, and then the online coaching.
Okay, so with that, I think you'll agree with me. One of the biggest gift that bodybuilding has given me is the ability, like you said, in terms of being super structured,
Yes.
working really hard,
Yeah.
learning that things pay off after a period of time, and that compounding effect of like,
Definitely.
if I get a little bit better every day,
Yes.
in 6-12 months, fuck me, like you're really far ahead.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I see like people come into business and they expect day one they're going to be like Elon Musk. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it takes a while. Like
Yeah.
you have to have skin in the game for a period of time to get to that point.
100%. 100%.
And you must see it with people coming into the gym where people look at, say, someone's chapter 12 and they're at chapter 1. They're like, why the fuck am I not there yet?
I can agree, definitely. Yeah, that's why I'm saying bodybuilding helps me a lot. I don't know why people just look at bodybuilding as a like they down look on bodybuilding as a sport of just drugs. No, if I see a bodybuilder, I see like this is a disciplined guy. This is a guy who really works really hard and does the job. So if I put this guy in any other field and make him interested in that field, he'll do great, I'm sure.
So this is where I think people are wrong. People think bodybuilding is a physical sport.
Yes,
it's a mental sport.
It is definitely.
Because it's your ability to apply yourself, consistency, discipline, be dedicated, because there's not really any switching off from it.
Definitely, that's right.
And I think that's what's unique compared to anything else.
Yes, yeah.
Like any other sport, let's say when you played football, like other than when you're training,
That's
when you're
it.
playing,
That was pure physical work. Yeah.
you didn't have to do anything else really. You could just like, you don't have to worry about your food to the exact gram or stress
Never.
about anything.
Yeah, never. Yeah, and even football and other sports, even taking it to extreme. Okay, it's still unhealthy, but not as unhealthy as bodybuilding. So bodybuilding, we're even taking risk. Business, we take a lot of risk. In life, we take a lot of risk. So growing that skill in yourself, like I'm gonna take risk in everything. That's also learned by bodybuilding.
And risk tolerance.
Yeah, exactly. And experience, yeah.
With bodybuilding and the fitness scene in Dubai, that seems to have exploded a lot over the last few years. What do you feel is driving that? Now, obviously, the local population is slightly smaller.
Yeah.
Do you think they're pushing it as well as the like expats coming into Dubai?
It depends on the audience we're talking about, but in general, if we talk about it worldwide, is Dubai growing in terms of bodybuilding? Yeah, it is definitely. Like you guys coming here and expanding your business and doing your thing, and Dubai is a very good hub for anything, to be honest. It's not just bodybuilding. So when COVID happened, like Dubai were one of the first cities that opened everything, and then a lot of people came and stayed here for good. And then I felt like this was a changing point for Dubai in terms of bodybuilding. Like people came to Binos and all the gyms were open, other places were like the country was closed, you know. So then this big change happened, and it's growing really well, and we're getting a big celebrities coming to Binos every other day, and some of them going back, some of them staying for good. Like I feel like even Dubai, it's not just it's growing a lot. It's a sign that we can host Olympia or like Arnold Classic one day.
But it's a matter of time until
Matter
it
of
happens.
time, yeah. Like the growth is happening,
Yeah.
and this I think we will reach that point one day, because accessibility to Dubai is super easy. The living here, it's a stereotype expensive. No, it's like any other country. And some places like Iran and these people who really can't go to the US, like Dubai is in the middle of the world, you know, and everything is, you can find everything. So
Also, if you look, current Miss Olympia, HG pounds Iranian.
is exactly, yeah. Not like Hadi is blessed to go to the US. we have like 6 other qualified Iranian athletes.
Couldn't go, could they?
Couldn't make it, yeah.
And that's why I think it logically at some point that will come, because I think the Middle East has so much pulling power within the bodybuilding. Even look, Rami as well from Egypt.
Yes.
So it's like, look at the last 2.
Yes. And in the Middle East, the way they praise their bodybuilders is way different than the US. Like, if
other than Chris Bumstead's the only one who I think is really like
exactly
other than that,
because the young generation. But if let's say me and you, we know Dennis Wolf. If Dennis Wolf walks around,
no one knows who he is.
No. If Rami walks around, he's gonna be stopped. Like, I remember going to Rami. He was living here in Dubai. I wanted to give him some cookies, so I was like, "Hey, I'm in the reception." He's like, "I can't come down." I understand. So I went up to his apartment. Like, when he comes here, like, everyone wants to take photo with him. He's a very well-known celebrity. Back in Egypt, he has a full street or like a square named by Big Rami. So they really appreciate bodybuilding. That's why I'm saying it's not only in the US, but if you come to the other side of the world, here people are not only loving bodybuilding, they're crazy.
Fanatical.
Yeah, they're on another level. Like, you see Hadi when he goes back home, yeah?
I think got statues of him there, I think. Like,
see, that's what I'm talking about.
Do you think there'll ever be a Olympia champion from the UAE?
Very hard, I can tell. Yeah, UAE is a small country. UAE champion. No, that's another thing. Why they won't be a UAE champion, I guess, unless like a miracle happens. Because here the vision of the government, it's not bodybuilding. It's other sports that bodybuilding, as I said, it's looked down upon. You know, it's like those physical guys, meatheads and stuff that use anabolics and everything. So they will never support that kind of sport, which to me is completely fine. That's their will, and they have the authority to do whatever they want. But other sports, maybe we can have a superstar, but not bodybuilding.
What do you think is the prime sport they're pushing here?
They're pushing really hard on football, but we're not getting any results for no reason. Like, I don't know the exact number. That's a disclaimer. But for the past 10 years, I'm talking about over 20 billion is spent on football. Yes. And we get 0 result. Sometimes you have to say the truth. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can give that a bit of money to other sports. Like, even if I have a superstar in the UAE in chess, at least we have a superstar. Like, we don't have to focus on one thing that we're not getting any return from.
Yeah, so that analogy of putting all your eggs in one basket, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But if they don't want to put in bodybuilding, I'm completely fine with that. But there are other sports we have other people who are like, they're superstars in their field. Like, we have this one girl called Shahad in CrossFit. I think she's the only Marathi who is qualified to CrossFit Games. Like, that's a big thing. It's like Olympia, you know. But the support isn't as much as a third-tier football player. You know what I'm saying? And then we have people in calisthenics, they're like amazing. Like, let's support these guys. We have people in, let's say, other sports like powerlifting. They're amazing. If you see their like CV, it's a lot of accomplishment in Asia and the worldwide. I mean, let's support these guys more than football. That's my opinion. It doesn't have to work, but just saying.
From an interesting thing I noticed coming here as well, is that obviously as a Western, is that when I see the locals, there seems to be 2 types. One, people who are really good shape and into health and fitness, and the other one who isn't, and they tend to be slightly overweight, or you can tell they tend to be eating, like, drink a lot of sugary drinks and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Do you think that's something that they're trying to work on changing as the generations change?
Yeah. And that's one thing that, because Dubai is so open, we're getting that new knowledge easier than other countries in the Gulf. So that new philosophy of thermodynamic laws of calories in, calories out, making people's life sustainable, that's coming slowly to the UAE. And now I can see I can see a lot of change in that term, and the general population, people are getting leaner and better and healthier because of that, because of knowledge, because of social media and stuff. Things are just getting better, which, alhamdulillah, it's good.
Knowledge drives results, though, right?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Talking about your gym, so Dungeon Bodybuilding Gym, you said originally just for you.
Yeah, so it was me training in COVID in my small 50 square meter. So I used to call it the dungeon. I used to get my friends, like close friends, hey, you want to come train at my house? It's a very small place. And then by time my friend was like, hey bro, why not make a big gym? I'm like, no, the capital is too big. I have to spend a lot. I'm fine. I'm enjoying this. And he was like, trust me, you'll do good. Because I used to hear numbers like 3 million, 4 million to make a gym. Like, what? That's too much on me I was 24 years old. So then by time I was like, okay, let me make up my mind, find a warehouse and do something for us. I'll make them pay, but it's just for us, like my clients, and just a private thing. And then the moment we opened, the people around me, they were not as much. I was like, you're not even covering the revenue. I was like, okay, let's just make it public. When I made it public, then things slowly started getting better. And then I have 2 licenses in my gym. It's a physical academy, gym, like gymnastic, and it's a academic facility. So from that academic facility, I started doing the seminars, and then started getting the webinars and the workshops and stuff. That drove a lot of attention to the dungeon too. So it's not like any other typical gym, you know. It's like I'm trying to translate whatever I believe into that gym. And in terms of business, dungeon isn't like having a gym is not a good business, to be honest. Yeah, unless you're doing money laundry. That's another thing.
Well, that's something I see when we talk about UK gyms. I see that a lot, and it's like, I'll be careful what I say. You know that they, like, I see places like, you know, in business, right? When you run your business, like, this isn't profitable. Like, how is this? How have you got all this brand new equipment? Like there's like barely anyone here of any.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
But if you own your own gym, it's quite easy to be like, oh, we had 200 day passes today. Like, no one's really going to track that.
That's
and I think it's funny because when you're growing up and you're into fitness, one of the things like, oh, I always want to have my own gym. That's probably the least thing I would probably want in terms of like a headache from experience from friends who have gyms are like, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Unless you're like a multi.
You don't give a shit about money, right?
Yes, yeah. It's going to be something profitable by like next 10 years, maybe, yeah. And it's a lot of headache unless you have a good team to manage everything for you. But it's another bonus point of having a gym. It's like your HQ, you know. You want to do meetings, it's there. You want to do seminars, it's there. You want to do podcasts, it's there. It's like my home, you know. And even people come to my gym, my friends, everyone, they just chill around. Like, they don't even train. They get 5 guys and sit upstairs and start eating and chatting and watching World Cup, and you know. So it's like we call it Majlis in Dubai. It's like somewhere where we just sit and hang out.
Do you think that, like, it's interesting that you mentioned hanging out, that bodybuilding and weight training is more popular because, say, like in Western culture, a lot of people end up drinking and doing things like that, perhaps?
I can say it's the same thing here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad habits we do also have, and bodybuilding takes us away from all of these bad habits. It's also drinking and going partying and stuff. Yeah, so even I was sitting with Luke, that's funny. I was sitting with Luke having Iranian food, kebab and stuff. So, and then Luke said, I never drank, I think, for the last 20 years, and he never ate pork. Yeah. So I'm like, you're just missing to be Muslim. So that's in our religion, it's just there. But for them, like, see how bodybuilding is like, because we've seen how like pork and let's say alcohol, something can be poisonous for the body. So whatever he is doing in terms of bodybuilding, keeping away from some bad habits. So that's the nice thing about bodybuilding. But some people can argue also, like, you guys take stuff that's unhealthy. But it's like Victor Black says this thing which I really like choose your poison. Like anabolics are bad, but at the same time, like it can increase like hematocrit level and stuff. But at the same time, smoking can do that too. So why do both? You know, just do one. Same thing goes to alcohol. It's very stressful in your liver, and anabolics are stressful. Like choose one. For me, like, that's the best poison I've chosen so far. Yeah, I like anabolics. Makes me a superhuman.
And with your gym, in terms of, we spoke briefly with regards to your equipment earlier, what's the favourite piece of kit you've got there?
Oh, man, it's like saying my favourite child. They're all. Some equipments people even don't know. I've been in a auction, like Nebula hack squat and Nebula leg press. Both of them, after even shipping, the shipping was really high rate in COVID. Both were for like around 90,000 dirhams. So that's expensive for 2 machines that are for, I don't know, 30, 40 years old. So those are one of the 2 equipments I really like. I wanted to expand the dungeon, but for some reason the guy on the next warehouse decided to stay for 1 more year. But I have a lot, like 10, 11 classic good equipments that you can find in good gyms in the UK. Mostly I like watch people in the UK that train and stuff. I see, okay, he's using Cybex classic hack squat. I'm sure that's a good thing because he's using it. And then I go there and I try it. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm gonna get this. And this is how I do. That's why I go to different gyms. You tell me, like, you go to different gyms. I go and try stuff. And then the moment I like something, order.
But isn't it funny, because I was saying this conversation the other day, it's like, you get in a piece of equipment and you do one rep, you're like, oh, this is fucking great.
It's good.
Or you get something like, it's just shit. Like, what is this?
Just clicks with you.
And that's why sometimes I'm like, who the fuck designed this? Because like you clearly never used it in your life. And I think some of the great examples, like you said, like we mentioned earlier, some awful equipment. I think Techno Gym is terrible.
I don't like it.
The Panata stuff, like the Italian sports cars.
I can see the Panata have one good machine, which not. And that's the good thing about machines. Like each and every brand, then you can't find a brand that has a full line of equipment's perfect.
No.
Even Prime, which is like the new yes, most of their stuff are bad. You can find 1, 2, 3, maximum 5 stuff. Like I'm gonna get these, and that's what I'm doing in the dungeon. Like I'm getting the best out of each garden. So Panata, they have this Smith machine that is. You know which one I'm talking about?
Like the inverted one.
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes. Maybe I can say that's the only one.
See, I don't like that.
You don't like that?
It feels like elbowy.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's maybe. That's not like my best machine in the gym. Nah. But I can say like they're the only ones who are doing it. And for me, it's like, okay, that is a fine machine. But the rest is like, to me, it's like a toy. It's like a plastic.
Do you think Dubai is becoming like the fitness hub of the world now?
I can tell yes. Due to many stuff. Yeah.
Because I went to Gold's Gym in California in December, and like the analogy of like in Western culture of when you find out Santa Claus isn't real is what it felt like when I went there. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like this is awful.
My friend was there. He said the same exact thing you're saying.
I've never been so disappointed. Yes. Like I think it was almost like a childhood dream to go to there, right?
He even wrote in his caption like, if Arnold didn't train here, I wouldn't come here.
I even lost for words for how shit it was.
Yeah.
I think
the management
I wanted to do. They don't even have a pendulum squat. I was like, how the fuck do you not have a pendulum squat at Gold's Gym in Venice Beach?
It's just the name. It's just the name, yeah. But there are some gyms that not even popular. Their stuff are amazing. There's a gym in Portugal called Blackout Gym.
Funny you say that. In Lisbon, right?
In Lisbon, yes. So I know the owner, Tiago. He's a good guy.
I was thinking about going there in August for a couple of weeks just to go and train and try something different.
Crazy. It's crazy. By the way, before opening the dungeon, I've been to 2 gyms that really inspired me to open the dungeon. It was Blackout. It was Kings.
Kings in Croydon.
Yeah, in Croydon. Those 2 gyms, like when I went there, I was like, I have to have a gym like this. That's why the dungeon's like black.
That must have been the original Kings gym. The
original Kings gym, yes. I've been to both.
This is interesting. So what did you like about that?
Like the high ceiling. I don't have a high ceiling, but I love the high ceiling. I love the black theme. I love the equipments there. I love that James trains there. I love James. The way he trains, high intensity. The vibes were like...
The music's blasting, right?
Yes, you know. Okay, I don't have music in my gym. I have to say this because I also believe in being in your own zone. Yeah, whatever I believe, which is unfair to other customers, but whatever I believe, I just make it happen there. So I don't believe in having music in the gym because it's gonna like give me some headache and take out my focus. I want to hear like metal plates banging around. Whatever is not allowed in other gyms, I make it allowed in my gym. So you want to take a shirt off all the time, I really don't care. Like other gyms, they will just kick you out. And we train in slippers, like Jordan Peters, my idol.
I've seen you do that. You sound training sandals.
I always.
I was going to bring that out today.
It's the same one that I'm using here. You know, like this sandal like goes everywhere.
It's like glued to your foot.
Yes, it's glued to my foot.
It's interesting actually. So I've known the only other gyms I've ever seen. There's no music oxygen gyms.
Yes, but that's due to religion reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that due to religion?
Because in religion you have some scholars that say that music is like prohibited and stuff like this.
Okay.
Yeah, but for me it's purely for just focus.
It was weird training there. I think I trained the one in Abu Dhabi a couple of times without music. But once you get used to it, it's actually better because there's no like bullshit around you, if that makes sense.
Like me getting into some gyms, I feel like it's a club. It's not a gym.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. I can't focus. It's just
filming like in dungeon is perfect.
Exactly, yes, yeah.
Filming like with Jamie and everyone.
It's just him. No one's there, yeah. You can just hear the voice.
audio is so clean.
Definitely, yeah. How do you guys then manage when it goes to like other gyms?
Bro, if I show you what I sent Joseph Rakic, like he was talking and the speaker was here in Binus, like you could never hear it, you know what I mean? Like it's, even if I put so many edits and try to clean it.
It's very hard, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, the Banus can end up like a nightclub a lot of the time. The music's too
they
much.
They get DJs and stuff.
Yeah, it's just too much. And even some of the gyms in the US can get very much like that. And I don't really... I like music on in the gym, but then not to that extent, if you know what I mean.
Definitely, yeah. And then in the end, you want to hear music, just put your headphones on, hear whatever you want. Yeah. Why should I just make it? I have a parrot in my gym. He makes noises. You should come try. I told you, dungeon is different. We have parrots in the gym.
What's the best gym you've ever been to? Kings?
Yeah, Blackout.
Okay.
I can say Blackout is the best gym. However, there's one more gym I have to try in Austria. Das Gym, you heard about it?
I've seen it and heard about
Callum
it.
trained in it once.
Is it in Vienna?
It's in Vienna, yes. Yes.
I've seen it. I'm going to do a shout out to Pure Muscle and Fitness in Toronto and Burlington.
Thank you. That's my second on the list.
So having trained in a lot of gyms, that would be the best gym in the world.
Yeah.
They have everything, and 5 of everything.
Wow.
It's huge, and I've never been
You've
anywhere.
been to Revive?
No, I haven't, but I have heard that's somewhere I want to go, but it's much smaller. But the Pure Muscle Fitness is massive, and probably one of the nicest things there, that everyone is so welcoming. I think it's just a Canadian thing. Like, everyone just wants to talk to you, and it's just nice, which I can say because I'm British. Respectfully, British people are very standoffish. So if a lot of people would find that if you weren't from the UK or from Croydon and King's Gym, you turn up there, you feel like people are looking at you, who the fuck are you? It's a bit like that sort of place. They don't like new people there, if that makes sense, whereas they're very welcoming. So I'd say if you ever go to Toronto...
It's getting better in the UK.
Yeah, I think...
It's getting better, yeah.
We're becoming less British, we're becoming warmer, I think. Because American culture filters over to the UK eventually.
Yes, I can tell.
It takes 10, 15 years.
I've been there 10 years ago, I've been there now. Unless they're scared of me, I don't know.
You're 50 kilos bigger now, that's probably why, right?
maybe, yeah. But Muscle Pure and Fitness Canada, I really want to go there. Das Gym in Vienna, I really want to go there. And there's this gym I have to mention, I've been to in Budapest. It's called Flex Gym. Okay. I don't know if you've been there.
No.
This gym, it's, I think, 4 floors, and it's just flex equipment. It's amazing. Arnold's been there, Will Smith has been there, big guys have been there. This gym it's crazy. It's really good. If you've ever been to Europe, you should pass by the Flex Gym in Budapest. It's amazing.
What's your favorite place in Europe? Do you stay here in the summer or do you leave?
The season of coaching athletes starts 28th of May up to the end of the year. 28th is Poland, and then we just keep doing back-to-back shows.
So you go out to a lot of them?
I go with each client because I just love going. That's for me enjoying the process, and for me being with the client it's totally different. I've been with clients online that compete. No, being there is just different mentally. Even when you take your decisions, it's different. So I travel with them, especially if they're there's a potential they do something good. If, let's say, I don't have men's physique athletes, which I don't train men's physique at all. But let's say I do have a men's physique that's doing a show somewhere. I will never go. Yeah, because that's wasting time.
Because you just don't like men's physique.
Because I like the person. Because I'm going to coach you. It's business. But in the end, I would never fly off to that place. But then we travel every other week, and then we go to different places. And then before going there, I do my full research about the place. Where are the gyms? Even if it's 4 hours drive, I'll still go. Yeah.
What's your favorite place you've been for a show?
I would say in Europe, Casino Ishtarel in Lisbon.
Okay.
You saw the show. They come from under. The production is amazing. The worst one I would say Spain, Emiliano shows. Yeah, the production is bad, really bad, and the timing sometimes isn't on point.
Respectfully, my parents live in Spain, so I feel like I say Spanish people are really unorganized.
Yeah, it's just like us.
Yeah, I would say that here. When I competed in the Dubai show, that was a complete disaster. That's the most unorganized thing I've ever seen in my life. To the point when I turned up a registration, I was nearly just walk straight out.
Which one was it? Dubai?
The Dubai Pro one.
The oxygen one.
Yeah, that was awful. Literally, I walked into a warehouse and there was 300 people there just sitting around waiting to register. There was no one had any clue what was going on. Oof. And I was like, okay. Yeah,
these stuff play a huge part of the athlete and how he looks. Yeah.
And I'm one of those people. I'm really highly strung, so as soon as that gets my back up and I get pissed off and it doesn't help, right?
No. I completely understand. Yeah.
That's why for me, when I did our second show, competed in Romania, it was so organised and well run. You're when you see one compared to the other, you then see 90-day difference in how things should work. Yeah.
Plus Romania, it's not like a show that I'm gonna say they have less people. No, they do have a lot of people competing in Romania, and that's why they do the Master Olympia there, because the way they're doing it is very professional. I've been to Bucharest 4 times maybe.
It's a nice city. It's not what you
hear about.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was kind of not scared, but I was kind of having this background of Romania, you know. I felt like this, I don't know. But then when I've been there, no, the people are amazing. The place is amazing. The weather is amazing. Everything about Romania is really good. That's why I've been there like 3-4 times. But the only issue is with that show, it's like packed. If you have a good athlete, he may not be well judged because of the number of athletes there. Maybe that's the only issue, but the rest, it's perfect.
If you were tactically going to send an athlete somewhere to win a show, where would you send them?
Finland.
Okay, that's very quick. So you've already planned this.
I have 2 or 3 athletes competing in Finland. They are decent athletes, decent, and they can still win a pro card. That's how Scandinavia countries, because it's the accessibility isn't that strong. You know? Like some other countries, they need a visa to go there. Some other countries, Europeans, if it's in Europe, they will just drive to the place, and that's not even called camping. For them, that's easy. But if they travel to Scandinavia, now that's camping for them. So I think that's why you don't see a lot of people showing up. But Scandinavia, yeah, easy shows.
Okay.
Mostly.
That's food for thought. Yeah. What's today? Write that down.
There's a lot. Norway, you have in Denmark, you have in Finland. Yeah.
I've been to Finland and Helsinki, and I can see why people struggle to get into that culture, because I remember you've got me here now, the little scooters.
Yeah.
I remember going from my hotel to like 30 minutes on this little scooter.
Where have you been to Tampere? Or?
In Helsinki.
Helsinki,
yeah. And on like one of these little scooters in the snow, and it was literally like awful. My hands are like frozen. Like,
but the place is amazing.
Yeah, people are really nice. It's beautiful.
The services and the place is like clean and new,
and friendly and safe,
and very friendly. Yeah, yeah. I really liked Finland. I loved Finland, but it's expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive. Yeah.
Like, coming from Dubai, it's expensive compared.
It is, yeah.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about Dubai from people from the West?
Probably that everyone's rich. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the main reason. I think they just think everything is fancy here. There's the other side of Dubai. Like, I've been getting people from outside, like my friends coming to Dubai. The moment I take them to the dungeon area, it's like, it's all industrial. Like, is this Dubai? I'm like, yeah, this is Dubai. And that's why I made the dungeon here, But in general, I don't know. Things are just getting more clarified by time. Social media, it's getting expanded. There's no so many misconceptions like before. Yeah,
I think that's one of the beauties of social media, though. It drops like international borders in some respects, because like people can see each other's lives and see that the people are the same no matter their race or religion, that everyone, you're into lifting weights and doing the same thing that we are, even though we live in the US or you live in Dubai or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it makes the world a smaller place in a lot of respects.
That's a good thing about social media. That's true.
I'm going to ask you one final question, Abdullah.
Yeah, of course. Take your time.
What would you say is the key for anyone listening to this in terms of progressing their physique, the number one thing they should focus on?
Adherence. Yeah. Let's forget about technicalities, forget about everything. As long as you're doing let's say you're doing a protocol which is 30% optimal, but you're doing it for 40 years, you'll get better result than someone doing it 100% for 1 year. And that's also translated in reality. Like, we have a lot of pro bodybuilders with some good genetics that train, I don't know, let's say they train pec flies like this, like it's nothing near biomechanics, but they have amazing genetics, amazing results, because they've been doing it for the past 30 years. So adherence, if do whatever makes you feel better, try to be within that point of what's right, what's wrong. I don't say do the best, but be there
in the middle,
yeah, and then just keep doing it, and then hopefully you'll get
rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much.
Where should people find out more about you? Dungeon and all the other businesses you have?
My own Instagram profile and then Dungeon profile.
And what was the other business you have? So I've actually ordered some products from them, so I'm going to give a shout out.
It's Grab and Go, and it's also the Dungeon Power Building Gym, if it fits your macros and myself.
All right, we'll drop all the links below the show notes. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is